What is going on, world? It's Mr. Dreams to Reality Coach Ford here, and I hope you're doing good. I'm back with another edition of the Rise Above Potential podcast. I don't even know what episode this is, but the biggest thing I want to get on here and talk about is the vision and my role as a coach and mentor in helping people restore their visions, helping people restore their focus, helping people follow that energy and to become productive and not allowing their words to betray their actions, right? As Inky Johnson would say, cats' actions betray their words every single day. Oh, you say, I'm committed to this. Well, we're going to see. How often do you write? How often do you read? How often do you post that video? How often do you do something every single day to make yourself better? How often do you spend time listening to the readers? How much time do you spend developing your craft? How much time do you spend checking your pedagogies, right? Checking your methodologies? How much time do you spend becoming the best version of yourself possible? And one of the challenges that I would challenge most people is to really be honest with themselves. Are you doing the things every single day to make yourself better? And as a basketball coach, that is one of the biggest things that I could say athletes struggle with. I could say parents struggle with is understanding that is your kid doing the work? Is the player doing the work? At some point, it's no longer on the parents. It's on the player to say, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go out here and work. And sure, the coach can motivate and push, and parents can promote and push and put their kid in the right position. But every kid can go outside and dribble on the sidewalk. Every kid can go out there and do form shooting. Every kid can do the most basic things to get better, right? And it's just a matter of priorities. It's a matter of saying, okay, I haven't figured this out yet, but I'm going to figure it out. I haven't gotten to this point yet, but I'm figured out. And so it's the same thing with developing a vision. It's the same thing with understanding, okay, where is it that we need to go as a program? Where is it we need to go in our life? When I wrote the book, Just Do Your Job, it was because I had a vision. I had a vision of where I wanted to go. I had a vision of who I wanted to be as an author, who I wanted to be as a coach. And there was a journey, right? And I look back and say, okay, maybe I didn't do all of the right steps and the habits. And part of being a coach and part of being a high achiever and being a person that pursues greatness is understanding, okay, this is where I need to go. This is the individual that I need to be. Working on my eye contact on screen, working on where do I need to go and saying, okay, this is how the camera's set up. How do I get better at my conversations? How do I improve my ability? How do I improve my ability to speak, right? It's not just going to happen by doing one video every 5 months. And I believe a lot of people get in the mundane, so they do their work every single day, clock in and clock out. Then we call this going through the motion in basketball. And a lot of people go through the motions in sports, go through the motions in life. And that's why their visions become cloudy. That's why their visions they disappear because they don't understand what it takes to improve every single day. They don't understand what it takes to get after this thing every single day. They understand, okay, what am I doing to improve? What am I doing on the day-to-day basis? Did I get the jump shots up? Did I spend 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day working on my ability? It's just a matter of priorities. And the thing that frustrates me so much is when people say, I just don't have time. It's a matter of priority. You don't have time to turn on a camera, and technology has been great. You can write notes. You can do a podcast. There's so much that you can do. You do what you can until you can carve out more time, or just be really intentional, right? And so as a life coach and as a mentor, and I have to be very careful to not get frustrated with people because I get it, but stop making excuses. Stop waking up on accident. Stop acting like this life of yours isn't important. Stop shortchanging yourself because you don't know how to do something yet, you know? And maybe you're putting in the work and you don't know what direction to go, or maybe you're putting in the work and you don't feel like you're seeing the results. Here's the thing about results. If you're focused so much on the result, is that you're taking away from the process. You're taking away from the day-to-day grind, right? And when I made a decision to stop focusing on the outcome and stop focusing on the result and outcomes are simply a distraction. Results and outcomes are simply distractions from the work. Distractions from the work. Right. So I'm an event coordinator for sports, right? I am very aware of the fact that my calling is sports. I'm very aware of the fact that my calling is being a mentor. I'm very aware of what I need to do to become the best version of myself every single day and moving the needle. And when you're leading an organization saying, okay, where do we need to go? Where are we at? how far are we away from, and putting in the parameters and saying, are we getting closer? And sometimes I'm impatient in the process too. But understanding this, right? I understand that I have to get better at my delivery. I have to understand that I have to get better at speaking. I have to get better at slowing down. I have to get better at saying, okay, where are we going? Where are we at? Right. And once you start to figure that out, then it becomes different. Right. So today I was very intentional. I was dealing with the basketball background. I love the basketball background, but it was blotchy. It was doing the glitchy thing. And I just didn't like that. I didn't like that focus. I didn't like what it was doing. And so today was very intentional to be like, no, I don't want that in the video. I don't want that to take away from the focus of what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And I want to talk about vision, right? So our Chick-fil-A just opened up in our town here, and somebody had a vision for the area we live in. Some people are used by other people's visions, and some people got to make their visions possible. I read this book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Fantastic book. Vivid Visions is another good book by Cameron Herold. I recommend reading books. I recommend if it gives you one idea, and I heard this at a podcast. I remember it said it, but they read books all the time because if one idea makes you $1 million, it was worth it. And some people won't pick up a book and read 5 minutes, or they won't write, or they won't read, and they'll judge a guy that's doing the stuff, right? Or they'll sit back and say, it's impossible. What you're trying to do is impossible. And I'm thinking, have you done the work that I'm doing? Do you understand the level of focus that it takes? Do you understand that I'm not just doing this just for the fun of it? I'm doing this with intention and purpose. It says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, right? His children's children. So I understand the work that I have to do is setting up my children and my children's children and going deeper, my children's children, future generation, and being focused on that and understand, okay, I'm getting a little worked up, so I got to slow down and gather my thoughts. I have to slow down and gather my speech. I have to slow down and say, okay, where are we going? Right? And that's why vision is so important. That's why every single day you're doing something, you put a timeline on it. I have a vision for my boys basketball program. I have a vision for my podcast. I have a vision for my life. And I would say that I was just wandering through the world without a clear map. And until you wander, and sometimes you have to wander, right? You have to wander until you stumble on a place and say, okay, here we are. This is the destination that we're at. And let's work back from here, right? Or where do we want to go? And that's where reverse engineering is really important. And understanding, okay, how do we get here? How did we get to here? Or how did we get to from this point to this point? And how do we move forward, right? Whenever I decided to have Missouri Kings basketball program, that is my club. That is my club team under the 4X Basketball Academy, right? And my director of business, she came in with a vision, right? So she blended the vision with what I already had established. And it worked out well. It's been a great partnership, and it's been a phenomenal situation. And so what I'm telling you is the power of vision is so important, because without it, you can be lost. And I was lost for a long period of time. And you probably wonder, why is he stuck on visions? Because if you sit down and you write out a vision for your life and you write out a vision for where you want to go, you notice that, my gosh, I've just been wondering through this life. And I'm not going to say I've been wondering, because I've always wanted to coach basketball. And I've always had a passion to coach basketball. I've always had a passion to lead. The thing that I needed to learn and grow through is how to do it better, what I was doing. And so at 33, I felt very confident, more than I did at 23. At 23, I was just going off raw passion of, I'm going to set the world ablaze, but I had no clear vision, right? I didn't map it out. I didn't sit down and do it. And so I feel like, I'm not going to say I wasted 10 years, right? Because that would be a lot. I learned a lot in 10 years. And so I look forward to the next 10 years, and then the next 10 years, and the next 10 years, and the next 10 years, all the way until God calls me home. Whatever God's will is for my life, right? Whatever Jesus says I am here called to do, but I know I am called here to serve. I know I'm called to mentor. I know I'm called here to coach. I know I'm here called to help people restore their visions. I know I'm called to do those things. And I know that for a fact, because why would God bring me to this moment if that wasn't the case? Why would he take me on this entire journey to look back and say, oh, you figured out by connecting the dots in the past, right? So I've been doing podcasts now for a long time, but this has been the most consistent I've been for a year. This has been the most consistent that I put out content. This is the most consistent that I've been focused. This is the best version of myself right now. right? Because I'm becoming more refined. I'm almost becoming like a cerebral assassin, right? I'm really focusing on the task of which that I want to get done. And I'm saying, okay, let's pinpoint where we want to go. What do we want to do? What are we trying to accomplish? What's our focus here? Right. And you got to have a vision for your life. You got to have a vision for your family. You have to have a vision for your organization. You have to have a vision for what your life looks like. And if you need help, write it out. There's tons of resources, Google, Chat, GPT, all kinds of AI. And we have free resources right on their phone of our tips. So I guess if I would name this episode, or if I would name this show, the Rise Above Potential Podcast is my show. But the show title today would be Vision Part 3, right? The action. There's the vision, there's the talking. There's a lot of people that talk, and it makes me so mad. They do so much talking, and nothing changes, or you're not a person of your word. And it's frustrating to me. I can't deal with people like that. I have no respect for people that tell me they're going to do one thing and they don't follow through. And I have to be careful not putting too much on my plate that some things fall off, or it's like crumbs where I'm like, oh, I dropped the ball on it. So, but what I do want to say is, what's your vision? Where do you want to go? Right. And I hope that through this word that God has given me through Jesus, and I learned this through the concepts of Jesus, and everybody really, the Bible is great with a lot of things. I know people think it's made up, and they're like, how can you believe this? How can you not? And Jesus is a great example, right? And God's kingdom is a great example, and the things to strive to be like that. And it's really hard because it's like, it's like, can't see that. And you can't see it because it's hard to see, right? Some people don't believe in your success, right? So if you give them their dream, they're like, oh, that's not possible. I couldn't see it. It's not as tangible as it. This was my company name. This is Missouri Kings, right? Somebody had an idea. They came up with an idea and they gave me this logo. Somebody came up with an idea, gave me this logo, but it was all my vision. And guess what? I didn't do it. So what does that tell you? Part of that is delegation, working with people, saying, hey, this is your strength. Can you work in your strength over there? This is what you're good. Can you work in what you're good over there? And then allowing people to be great in their greatness. Let me say that again. Allowing people to be great in their greatness. Allowing people to be great in their greatness. And then, right, being great in your greatness. And I would say, let's get around people who are just as visionary you, or big go-getters. And if, just because they don't see your vision, don't let them cloud your vision, right? Because their day is raining and their day is cloudy, and their storms, and their life is all over the place. Don't let them cloud your vision. I played a song for a school chapel I did the other day. It's from Lion King, but it's not from Lion King. I forgot the artist's name. But the song was, I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. It's going to be a bright, sweet sunshiny day, right? And so for you, your clouds are clouding your vision. The storms of your life is clouding your vision. The chaos in your life is clouding your vision. The junk and the trash and the negative and the toxicity is clouding your vision. It's blinding you. And so it's hard for you to dream. And I've been there. I raise my hand. I throw my hands up. Like, I've been there, and it's been frustrating, and dealing with things in life and saying, oh my gosh, this is just terrible, right? And so I get a little dramatic on some of these things. But yeah, my challenge to you is to go become great. My challenge to you is to become the greatest version of yourself. Like, I get people like, your YouTube channel's got good content, but you're not doing only good. I don't really care. I'm just going to post videos until I have a breakthrough. And if you want to come do this and work and do all this, well, you can work on commission and help me build this up. But until then, this is my format. This is what I'm doing. All right. Have a good day. This has been Rise Above Potential Podcast. Coach Ford, Mr. Litty, reality, Mr. Dreams to reality. Do me a favor. Like and subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at Coach Ford Speaks. You can find me on Facebook at Coach Ford Speaks. You can find me on Threads as Coach Ford Speaks. And then, and then YouTube, of course, Coach Ford Speaks. Have a good day.